Why, hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
We are here to bring you a nice treat for Halloween.
No tricks in this video.
This information will give you a leg up on your studying, because we are always here to give you a helping hand.
And we want you to be heads and shoulders above the rest.
So make sure that you know that anything that has mass and takes up space is matter. So this is matter. This is matter.
Anything you'd find on Halloween could be matter.
Oh, yes, like a cauldron or a mask or a candy bar.
Or even bones.
Oh, you're so funny. All matter is made of atoms, which of course you know already.
That's right.
Are all made of atoms.
And they are the basic building blocks of all things.
Atoms can also be called elements, which we find on the periodic table.
Bones, how many elements would you say there are out there?
Oh, about 118.
That's a lot of elements.
Yes, but we have more bones than there are elements.
This is true.
In an atom, what is that part in the middle called?
The nucleus is the center of all atoms, and they contain protons and neutrons.
Oh, where are those negative particles? They're not in the nucleus.
No, they fly around the nucleus in the electron cloud because the negative electron charge is attracted to the positive charge of the nucleus.
Oh, I get it. So your electrons are outside the nucleus.
Exactly.
What is that called when you've got an atom with a different number of neutrons, but it's still the same element?
As far as neutrons, why, that's an isotope.
Isotope. Oh, isotope too.
Isotope. I'm actually iso white because I'm just a bunch of bag of bones.
Our white, though, is kind of faded. What on that periodic table, the part that goes up and down, the column, there's another name for that, but I'm scratching my head. I can't remember.
Why, Bob? It's called family. We are family. I got all my sisters with me.
In the universe, there's an element that is more abundant than any other element. I heard it's a gas.
Let me scratch my head on that one. I think that's going to be hydrogen.
I think you're right. And all living things, not that we would know about that, have at least 25 different types of atoms. Most of those atoms are oxygen, carbon, and hydrogen. See, I know that even though I'm not living. I'm dead.
Good stuff. You know what, Bob Bones? Did you know that on the periodic table, the very first group, which has calcium, which we're made of,
oh yes,
is group 1 alkali metals.
Oh yes, and I heard that they are very reactive.
They are. They are definitely reactive.
And they're very kind. Just like people give out candy for Halloween to trick-or-treaters, they give 1 electron.
Ooh, to make a +1 ion.
Let's see. What about those metals in groups 3 through 12?
Why, Bob Bones, they are transition metals.
Well, thank you, Billy Bones. That's good to know. What about those salt formers in group 17?
They are the halogens. Did you know that next to group 1, Group 17 elements are also the most reactive, and they're the most reactive nonmetals.
You don't say.
No, they take one electron on and they become a -1 ion.
Oh, they shouldn't be so negative. What about that group that aren't metals, but they aren't nonmetals either?
Oh, Bob, they're found along the zigzag. They're called metalloids. They have properties of both metals and nonmetals.
Oh. Now, this is where I ran into trouble. I ran into trouble with some radioactive substances.
Uh-oh.
And there's a group that have all radioactive elements in it, and those are called the actinides. You might want to stay away from those, kids.
Oh, you know what's a great way to remember the actinides? The actinides are radioactive.
Oh, you are so smart. That is using your head.
Floating head of doom.
But back to the nucleus. Let's talk about those particles some more. Which one is the one in the nucleus that has a charge?
Why, that's easy, Bob. That's the positive protons.
Oh, P for positive,
Yes.
P for protons. That's how I'll remember that. And then you also have your neutrons, which are in your nucleus, but unlike the positive protons, the neutrons are neutral, which means they have no charge, just like we have no skin.
Exactly. And then outside the nucleus, don't forget those electrons.
Those negative electrons. Now, back to our periodic table. You've got some things on the periodic table that are shiny and malleable, which means bendable, and they conduct heat and electricity. Not like us, we're cold. Those are all going to be your metals.
And did you know, Bob, Bag of Bones, that when you got destroyed with the radioactive elements, somebody came by and they used a Geiger counter and they were measuring how much radiation was in that area. And
Yes, because I heard it go click, click, clickety, click, clickety, click. I thought that's what that was.
Now, Bob, there are some elements on the periodic table all the way to the right-hand side that we know are going to be dull in appearance and poor conductors of heat, and many are gases at room temperature. Was that you, Bob?
Oh, sorry, excuse me.
And they are all non-metals located on the right-hand side of the periodic table.
Yes. Now, if you're sick and you need something to destroy a tumor in your body,
It's
you
not a tumor.
It's not a Arnold. You can count on radioactivity in medicine.
That's right. That
You just
can
have to
help
make
you.
sure you don't get too much, because that's what happened to me.
That's right. And don't forget again, elements in group 1 and 17 are the most reactive. The
That's
most
right.
reactive metal and the most reactive non-metal.
Tell me, Billy Bag of Bones, if I look at a periodic table, I see some numbers.
Oh, yeah. At the very top of that square is going to be the atomic number, which also tells you your number of protons.
Oh, okay.
In the middle, you're going to have a chemical symbol. It's either going to be one capital letter or a capital and lowercase letter, and that's the chemical symbol of the element. Underneath it is going to be the element's name. And then at the very, very bottom, you are going to have the atomic mass. That's going to be the element's average of all its isotopes.
But how do I find the number of neutrons and electrons? I don't see that anywhere on the periodic table.
That's easy to find. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your atomic number. The atomic number tells you the number of protons.
That's right.
It also can tell you for an atom, because an atom's going to have the same number of protons and electrons, it'll tell you your electrons.
Oh.
Then you round your atomic mass so you get a whole number.
Okay.
And that's a combination of your protons and neutrons. So you take that number and subtract the atomic number, and you'll find your neutrons.
Oh, how about that? Ain't that a kick?
Is it a kick in the head?
Oh, your hair is so nice. I'm so jealous.
This is what I used to look like.
Wow, you need a makeover.
I do.
All right, boys and girls, we hope that you have enjoyed this little treat for Halloween.
Remember, no tricks here.
That's right. We're Bob and Billy Bones, signing off.